Nice of you to join me, and a very warm welcome to my channel. It's lovely to have you here with me today. Now today we are on to part 2 of the little house box and album project that we've been doing on the channel recently. I say the royal we, I mean I have been doing on the channel recently, and we are going to decorate and finish the box before we go on to the album. Normally in the past what I've done is I've made the box and then made the album, done the album, and then I've done the box the last thing. I thought I'd just change it round and we'll do the box first. So from my previous video I did have some homework for you, and that homework was to paint the inside of your box. Now I've painted the bottom in black, but I'm also going to cover that in cardstock, and then I've painted all round my corners and my edges in there like so. Now the reason I've done that is as I couldn't get the tape down into those right angled corners, so the other option is to paint it so that when we put our pattern paper onto it you're not going to see that grey board coming through. So I've done that on the box, and I've also painted my lid as well. As you can see, it does need another coat, but what I'm going to do is wait until I've I've covered this with our paper and put our brads through, and then I'm going to put some of the foundation tape over those brads, and then I'll paint over the tape as well so that it all matches in. I hummed and hawed of the different paper that I'm going to choose, I was going to use, and I've decided to use the Rose Perfume paper. It's from Stamperia. It's really, really nice. It's very, very feminine and very girly. It's my lovely colours. I love the greens and the pinks and the lemons and the blues, and just the vintage feel of this paper. Now I have got 2 of the 12 by 12s, one which is the normal, I'd say the image paper, and the other one is the backgrounds paper as well. So I've got 2 of the 12 by 12s and 2 of the 8 by 8s. Now I'm not hopefully going to use all of the sheets. I just wanted to over calculate how many that we needed, because I hate to run out of paper when I'm working, so I've sort of over compensated for the paper. Now you might not need all of those, because you might be a little bit more frugal with your paper and maybe just paper piece parts of your pages, which is another way to cut down on your papers. Now just a little bit of housekeeping before we start on with the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It really, really does help. So let's start with the video. Now I've printed out the PDF. That is a free downloadable guide. The link for that is in the description box down below, but also on a QR code, which I'll put up there as well. If you want to pause the video, you can scan it, and then you will be able to download it onto your mobile device. So I've cut mine out. Now I'm going to be working from page 10, and that is, we're going to be doing the front part of the box with the window cut out. Right, before we cut our pattern paper, we need to cut our acetate for our front window. So you'll need your acetate sheet. If you've got the kit, you get 2 sheets of acetate in the kit, and you'll get a thick piece of acetate and a thin piece. You want to bring out the thick piece. Now you will be able to feel the thickness because it is quite noticeable. So for the acetate, you need to cut it at 6 inches by 7 inches. So I'll do 6 inches up here, so 6 inches by 7. And then you have got enough there for another pocket or a photo mat, something like that. So you have got enough there to do another one if you want to. So with this, we're going to stick this round the outside edge, but we're going to stick it onto the outside part of your book. Now when we put it down, we don't want to put, I'm going to use glue and double-sided tape. I don't want to put it right up to the edge, the tape, because you're obviously going to see it. So with that, we need to put it possibly about 1/4 of an inch in. So probably about that much in. Okay, just to make sure. Now this isn't going to be our main adhesive. I will use some glue, but I'm going to use this double-sided tape as a sort of a barrier so that I don't get glue onto the acetate. So just burnish that down as much as you can. Get yourself a pokey tool or a pair of scissors and just take off that backing tape like so. Like so. Like so. Okay, now with your glue, you're not going to go past that line. So I'm going to just add my glue just onto the top of that glue, that double-sided tape, but not all the way to the edge. Okay, just so that we can get a good stick. Okay, and get your piece, and we're just going to, what you could do is, if you've got any finger marks or something underneath, you could just use your isopropyl alcohol and just wipe it off like so, like so. And as you can see, as you are pushing it down, it's pushing that glue further and further to the center. So that's why you don't want to put it too near that edge, because you don't want to see any glue smudges. So with the window cut out, now I am only doing the outside at the moment, and then we'll do the inside separately. So the measurement for the front part of your book will be 8 inches by 7 3/8. Now I'm going to use the 8 by 8 part for this, and I'm going to go with this one here. So that's the nice floral one. Oh, sorry, then script one. Just double check to make sure that is a nice width, and yes, it is. Taking your pencil now, working on the back side of your pattern paper, you need to have the 7 1/2 measurement down the side of your trimmer to start with. And if you've got a directional paper, you need to work with so that the direction of the paper is going to the left hand side, because this is going to be the top So the top measurement is 1 7/8. So make your 1 7/8, and then what I'm going to do is use my pencil. I'm just going to draw a line from side to side, okay, at that mark. Then I'm going to turn it round, and I'm going to do the next one at 1 inch. Okay, make your mark, or draw your line, move it round and do a 1 inch mark again, and then the next one is exactly the same at 1 inch. Okay, so then once you've done that, get your trimmer and line up those lines with the gully in your trimmer and cut from line to line. So you're leaving the 1 inch mark either side. Okay, do the same with all the other sides. So take that out and turn it round, because this is the side I'm going to use, and just double check that you've got all your measurements correct. Now the only thing is I may need to cut off just a little sliver between the top and the bottom. It could just be that I've not cut enough off, but I'm just going to cut down, just take off a tiny little bit. Okay. That's a bit better. Right, I might take one off the... So I did the bottom, so I'm going to do exactly the same and take that off, that much off this side as well. It's not an exact science. Sometimes you just need to just trim a little bit more off. There we go, that's a lot better. And then I've got a nice neat border around the inside of the frame. So now what you need is your distress inks, and I'm using Vintage Photo, and I'm just going to ink round the edges, and I'm going to do this on all my pages, so just round all the edges. We've cut out our window. Let me just put that back on there because I can see that having an accident, and just add your glue. Now your glue needs to go all the way around the edge of your window like so, and then make sure you get it the right way. We're going to stick this on in place. Okay, so that's the front cover done. So now we need to do the sides and the back. For the sides, you need to cut 2 at 3 1/4 by 7 3/8.
All I want
Okay, I've covered the whole of my box now in the pattern paper. I used the 8x8s to cover it. Apart from the side bits, I used 12x12s, but I just used some offcuts that I had for the sides of the box. But then I used an 8x8 to put that lovely image in the front of the window. I thought that would be quite a nice visual effect, so I did that. The other thing I've done is I've just put some black cardstock on the bottom of my base, and I've also put some black cardstock in the base at the bottom as well. So the next thing we have to do is put our feet on. Now the feet, once we put them on, I'm going to have to leave them to set, because it does take a while. So I'll get my feet out of my little bag here. In your little bag will be your magnets and then your feet that we've got here. You might have a few bits of little polystyrene in there as well as a little added bonus. Okay, the glue that I've got is just the Gorilla Glue. It's clear. It does take a while to set. It's the best thing that I found to stick the metal to the box, that obviously because it's grey board. That's the best thing I've found, but it does take sort of overnight to set. So what I do is I tend to just put it up the sides and just a little dab on the base of your foot. So make sure you get it the right way and don't put it up the wrong way as I've done in the past, and just push and leave it on there like so, just to push it down, and then just go around and do the other four as well. Now you can put some brads through here, but it makes it difficult to try and get obviously the brad legs closed, so that's why I tend to just put the glue on, and it does tend to stick once it's actually stuck and dried. So I just come around and do these bits. As I say, you don't need an awful lot. It will just sort of start to set. Just need to don't touch it like that, but just you just need to wipe away any of excess glue you might have. One is this one. So that's them on. So I'm going to leave them to set. I mean that they will set, and they'll be rock solid. They won't come off. So I'm going to put that over here out of the way. Okay, we're going to do the lid now, so or the roof. So we're going to do the triangle bits. Now I'm going to work with the 12x12 papers for this part, and you'll need to cut your paper at 7 7/8 by 4 1/4. So I'm going to do 4 1/4 by 7 7/8, and you'll need 2 of those obviously. So let's go with 4 1/4 by 7 7/8. Now remember, you can use these off-cut bits. So once you've got your 2 pieces like so, we need to find the center point. Now, because it's not a very even measurement, I'm just going to pinch it. So literally fold it in half, but put the two sides together and just pinch the top bit so that you create your little fold in your paper. And then what we will do is just mark on that fold like so. Okay, and then we're going to cut diagonally from this your fold mark down to the corner, and then from this mark again down to the opposite corner. It's there and there. So that's one. Turn it round and do the other. So get your mark and there. And then that should give you a nice border all the way round. So that is for your top. So just ink your edges. Like so. And then we can stick this bit on. Stick it on. There we are. So that's one side, and then you can obviously do the same with the other. Okay, then for the sides, so again you can use the same paper and just paper piece if you want to. You can use a different pattern. These are going to measure 1 3/8, sorry, we'll get that right, 8 1/4 by 1 3/8, and you'll need 2 of those. And then the small ones are going to be 3 1/2 by 1 3/8. So you just need to cut this out twice. So let me just double check to make sure that's right size. Yeah, 1 3/8 by 1 3/8, and then we can cut this down to 8 1/4, and then 3 1/2. Okay. So again, this second strip, 8 1/4 by 3 1/2. Okay, and so that's our pieces for that. So they're going to fit along the front and the back. So don't forget to ink your edges, like so. One side, and we'll do the other side. If you notice at the side here, I've got one of my stay put mats. I've cut it down and just put it onto my table here, just on this bit, so that I can put my distressing tool on and I'm not getting it onto my table here, so it's keeping it nice and clean. And as you can see, it's with the silicone on the back, so it's keeping that nice and firm and it's not moving. And it's great for when I film as well, because there's no glare coming up off the table, so it's quite good. Right, so there's that side. I might as well put these ones on as well while I've got them here. So then this is the edge, and then the other one. So for them, I might as well measure them. They're going to be 3 1/2 again, and this one is going to be at 6 inches. So they're both 3 1/2 by 6. So 2 of those. You will get both cuts out of one strip of your 12 by 12 papers if you cut it at 3 1/2 by 6. so. And then that is your lid completed. So you could end up putting some embellishments on there as well. And
right, I've finished decorating the outside of the box now. Now I did the decorating off camera because I just thought it would be a lot quicker, and you didn't really want to see me put on side pieces and back pieces, because that we all know how to do that. So I showed you the main parts, which was to cut out the aperture for your front of your box, and how we did the triangle pieces at the top. Sorry, my dog had something, it had some paper. So I showed you all of those bits, so you didn't really need to see me decorate them. Now I have added here on the corner, I cast some resin, and I then painted it and then grunged it up to make that lovely flower there. And these flowers go really well with this paper pack. Yeah, I used a mould for that, and I painted it in 2 different colours, and then I used the vintage paste from Stamperia over everything, and then wiped it back to create that sort of grungy vintage look. And then I just added on the edges, I just added some wax paste, just to give that metallic sheen to it. Also what I did do is I used a very thin layer of diluted gloss varnish over the top, just to give it another bit of a sheen. And then I just fussy cut some of the flowers out of the 12 by 12, which is the flowers that are in the background there. So I kind of did that, and then the top here again I just scrunched it up exactly the same way, and then just used some metallic paste over the top, metallic wax should I say. And then on the back I had 2 pieces that would fit brilliantly on the back of this, so I just paper pieced them together and then added a black strip along the back just to join the 2 together, just so that I could utilise those pieces of paper, so I didn't need to cut into another one. So that then is the box completely finished and done. So in part 3 we will start with the album. So thanks again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and comment on this video. If you can, hit that notification bell as well. All that means is every time I upload new content to my channel, you'll get a ping into your inbox to alert you that I've uploaded new content. That way you will be one of the first people to view my videos. Come and follow me on all the social medias. I have a link that's coming up here, which will be a QR code which you can scan with your mobile device, and that will then take you to a site called Linktree, and all my social medias where our links are on that. They're all in one place then, and then you can choose which one you want to subscribe to. I also have a Facebook group on Facebook called Memories Paper Art. Come along and join in the group there. It's a really friendly group, and it is a group where you can share any of your crafty makes that you make, not necessarily makes that you've made with my projects, although I do love to see them if you do make my tutorials up. So whatever you're doing in the world, please have the most amazing day, and I will see you again on the next one. Bye!